Hello everyone, my name is Michael Young and welcome back to Factorio. So, between parts, I spent a lot of time, maybe a couple hours, watching TV and walking back and forth in a straight line. You know, for fun and to lay out all this land. So we have quite a large space to move into. I'd like to get it extended all the way out to there. But, and I captured the rail pattern we made last time. We're not going to want it up here. We're going to want it like down here somewhere. We're going to want factories right here. So, fair warning, I think this is going to end up being one of the more mathy episodes. Because I want to start planning out this rail network. I was saying we're going to wait till we get like a little bit of green science, but it seems like getting green science is going to take purple science. And I just don't have time for that. I don't want to deal with that stuff. Looks like we're having some trouble with, not gold, but the aluminum. It all comes back to mineral sludge in a way. Anyway, I've been just thinking about how we're going to lay this out, because I want to have like a rail network, but I want it to be less complicated than the previous one we did. Like last time we had lots and lots and lots of little stations that were each producing like one thing and requesting like 5 things, and that just was complicated. That wasn't very good, because in particular the mineral sludge production and having to move that around was a bit of a mess. So instead I'm going to look for like families of things that we're going to put all in the same area. Let's move some of this over while we're talking. Families of different items. Like I know that almost all of these components are based on plastic, resin, tin, and copper. And so we could have a little factory that just makes all these different types of components. Maybe even makes all the circuit boards too. I don't know. I'm not sure. Either way, we can plan that in the future. Looks like this has a different problem. It's probably out of ammonia or nitric acid from a lack of ammonia. Yeah. And so I'm just trying to figure out how exactly do I want to split things up. And I'm thinking that for the most part, I don't want the sludge separate. I want sludge produced on site everywhere, so we don't have to worry about it getting imbalanced and all the sludge going towards making a bunch of invar that we don't need. Instead, every site will produce the sludge it needs itself. What are you doing? You like don't have somewhere to put that, maybe? You can't be charging. You're full. Or you would be after all this time. Maybe it doesn't have somewhere to return to. No, there's lots of room. We're over 1,000 construction bots now, but it's still going a little bit. But I did slow that down a little. Where am I going? Ammonia. Anyway, so I figured maybe where we'd start would be acid. Because we're gonna need, well, a ton of sulfuric acid, and it's not as easy to get. Like it used to be, you would just make some coal. And so I had those little green algae factories everywhere. The little things that look like this, where I had 4 green algae things all making coal, and then we wash the coal and we can have sulfuric acid. But instead, things are more complicated. Yeah, it looks like methanol is nice and full. Yeah, plastic's backed up. I should get some science going. A lot of science went on while I was walking back and forth in a straight line. So, really, this is made from ammonia? What do we use it for even? Calcium carbonate. Let's just start getting some random things. But yeah, that was just, you know, I figured there's no point in showing me walking back and forth like that, so I just put on some TV and came back a couple hours later. Well, finished up a couple hours later. So yeah, I'm thinking that we can use the new lime filters, which I'm really, you know, using these air filters and the lime, what are they called? Yeah, this lime filters to create acid gas, and then we'll use the acid gas to create hydrofluoric acid, and this will eventually become sulfuric acid. we'll use the CO2 and the sulfuric wastewater to make oil, to make blue algae, which will turn into ammonia. And then ammonia will turn into nitric acid. I think it'll all work out if I have the right thing. The only issue is that it needs green catalyst, like all around, green catalyst everywhere. And I don't have, you know, all of the stations are going to be somewhat bound, you know? There's like, nothing is going to work very well by itself. So I think for now we're just going to create something that will use dropped green things, or really in practice the silver and aluminum ore. It's a component issue. It's a tinned copper issue. It's a mineral sludge issue. Anyway. Might end up being a base mineral issue. Not for the lubricant so much, but for the coolant. Coolant will be another plant, I'm thinking. We'll have a little station that will make coolant. Anyway, so let's start mathing this out. I just want to figure out exactly how much I need. Well, first of all, how much do I want? So in terms of our fluids, we are producing... Where's my sulfuric acid? We're producing 9.6 thousand per minute. Let me get this up. So we're producing 96,000 per minute, or 160 per second. That seems a fine target. Let's just try to make a little station that produces exactly that much. In fact, wait a minute. Let's see if there's a longer term thing. It was 10. Maybe things have been quiet the past hour because I've just been walking back and forth on the line. Maybe we should just aim for 10. It's a nice round number. So 166. Maybe I should just aim for 200. I don't know. We'll play around with it. Anyway, so let's start working it out. And I do apologize because this is going to take a while. There might be other ways to do this too, but I think they're going to have too many residuals. Like I could use this raw gas instead, which we get from dealing with oil. I mean, I could wrap that around because we can make oil in the factory. Instead, we're not doing that. We're turning that into ammonia. But anyway, I want to play with the new technology I just got. Okay, so here is the primary recipe we're talking about. Alright, let me just star that. So, this is going to use 1 filter and 20 water, which is easy to deal with, to produce another filter, used filter, and 20 waste water in 10 seconds in something that's of speed 2. I did that backwards. So each one consumes 0.2, produces 0.2, and that much wastewater per second. And we're going to have a bunch of them. Like, I'm imagining we might need like 20 or something like that. Maybe even more. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's a slow recipe. It's a very slow recipe. So, the used filter... I'll leave some room. So 1 used filter becomes one filter. Filter frame, actually. It becomes a filter frame. You have to add the line back to it. Interesting. I didn't think about that. It's another step along the way. Okay. One filter frame. It doesn't need like water. It's not like ceramic filters that you have to wash each time. Produces 20 acid gas. And this happens in 2 seconds. And this isn't a chemical plant. Usually I think of that as being a assembly machine. So we're probably going to use Chemplant 2s. And what do I have even? We've been using Chemplant 2s for quite a while. Now we can go up to liquefiers. The brass concrete liquefiers. But probably we won't need to. We'll do them in pairs. Really, we just need to be able to produce to deal with 0.4 used filters per second. So let's just see that's our target, 0.4. Then our speed, then 1 over 0.4, 1 over something needs to be equal to 0.4. So that thing that needs to be over would be, or 2 over something needs to be equal to 0.4. So it needs to be 0.8 speed, which would be Chemplant 3s or liquefier 3s. Liquefier 3s work. So we'll do it in crafting speed 3. And it can deal with 1.5, but, well, that's not going to be necessary. Wait a minute, did I do that wrong? I might have done it backwards. I might have divided when I should have added, or multiplied. What if it wasn't speed 1.5? Like it was a very small liquefier. 1.5. That would still be sufficient. Okay, so we're going to use liquefier 2s because we don't go lower than that, but... Well... I should write this. Liquefier 2. And that'll be sufficient. 2 point. And this, of course, takes place in a air filter too. And there's no upgrades from that. That's as fast as I'll get. Of course, we could speed beacon it and all that, but I'm avoiding beacons for this factory. We might rebuild everything beaconed, but for now we're just gonna go simple because this seems so expensive to get the modules. Anyway, and the filter frames. So it's a little complicated. It's a two-step thing. Huh. I could see laying it out though, where we'll have like a building there and a building there, and then we'll have one in between them, and this will be where we clean the filters. This will be where we make the new filters and they feed back into the sides. That'll work. Okay. So one filter frame becomes one lime filter. Well, one filter we're calling it. With one lime. And that's in 2 seconds also, but it's in one of these machines. So that's 1.25. Does that keep up? Yep. I think the Word is trying to be helpful again, or Google's trying to be helpful. Don't show me suggestions. How annoying. Yeah, that was the wrong thing. Okay, so one of these yellow ones can handle 0.625 filter frames per second. We're actually going to a pair of these, and we're always going to do pairs. So let's just work that out. So a pair of these is going to be that times 2. So we'll need to. This won't be enough then. Yeah. Maybe if we go to a purple assembly machine, that's of speed 2. That will do 1 per, which is enough. Well, wait a minute, no. 0.625 is fine. I was thinking it was double that, but we already doubled it. So a yellow will be sufficient. So we're going to be getting 0.4 used filters. Per pair, which will generate 0.4 filter frames. And 8 acid gas. So 8 acid gas, 8 wastewater so far is the output. Excuse me. Swamp trees. Actually, I saw a swamp tree. Like way down here to the south. Right there, that's a swamp tree. I didn't even know there were swamp trees on the map. I thought that it was all going to be desert. I guess there might be something over there too. Maybe a swamp garden? Ooh. I'm a little curious about that. Let's go take a look. Because we haven't looked at swamp crops at all. We've all been, like, we spent forever looking at desert crops. And then we got around to looking at the Tianatin at least, and making something of that. But I haven't even paid any attention to swamp. I wonder what the virtue of swamp is. I have to admit, these behemoth worms are getting a little tricky. Temperate gardens, temperate trees. Oh, more trees is always good, though. Let's have more arboretums. Anything else just kind of show up? We encompass that one, of course. You know what? I should go ahead and like place out some radars. Because why not? Just to get access to some more trees. Ooh, it looks like we're having trouble with our red circuits. But like, it's just a mineral sludge problem. I don't know why we're having mineral sludge problems now, when it feels like most of our factory is sitting still. Everything takes forever to build now because it needs like the previous one also. It's not my favorite way of doing things. I'm not sure I like how they made this work. Let me guess. This is out of no, it isn't. It's doing fine. But yeah, because everything uses the previous version of it, you end up with like really complicated, annoyingly complicated lines to build anything. If you're not going to use logistics, which I am not at the moment. I mean, just placing that out gives me so much view. That seems like it's a little too close to be worth it. Let's put it further over here. I have room to build more TNA in here, but honestly, at the moment, we don't need it. It's just not. This will be a waste. We'll be able to over in the other corner. All my construction bots are silent. I figured, well, I wonder if I should go ahead and start paving the ground where we're gonna build stuff. Maybe I should. It wouldn't be a terrible idea. I did, while I was running back and forth, get some explosives being made way over on this side of the map. Let's stop in and grab some of them. Oh, I used up so much landfill. We must have had, I don't know, maybe a couple 100,000 landfill just kind of sitting around various places. And I just kind of I went around and grabbed everything I could and just placed it down. You know, that's not even connected to the rest of the base. Why did I have so many accumulators right here not even connected to the base? Because I was doing some power testing. But why didn't I fix it towards the end? Looks like this is having some troubles. Can't output dust. Can't output sludge. It's got mineral. It's backed up. Yeah, mineral sludge is backed up way back here. Well, good. Oh, our first little windmill farm. That was so long ago, it makes me all nostalgic. But yeah, look at that. Look how much much of the area that we see just from the few things I placed down. Anyway, to turn that into the blasting charges needs grenades and barrels. Grenades are charcoal, right? And iron. Where's our iron being made? Up here. We'll need some steel too, of course. There. Go ahead and make a ton of those. More than that, I would have thought. I guess not that much. It needs a lot of explosives. And it will take a long time to do. Ran out of charcoal. How is this input doing? It's got tons of input. Do not lean forward, Michael, or I'm gonna end up with a hurt neck. There we go. Okay, we'll let that go for a while we spend more time playing with acid. And let's go ahead and start laying out some more concrete. Like, I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but I don't think we actually have that much concrete. We actually used up all the ones that we developed already. Let me take a look. Like, I don't think I need to bother doing this because I'm hoping to move beyond it. And then I'm going to go back and see it doesn't the time over for sure. See, things backed up. That might be why we're having troubles. Might be something slowing down our production. Although actually it looks like we're just storing these in boxes, so never mind. What was I doing? I was going to deal with concrete, and I was going to look to see how much concrete we had. Oh, it's full. Okay. Well, we certainly should keep on producing concrete, so we need to deal with that. We're so speedy. I did add a second exoskeleton because I was, you know, might as well walk back and forth faster. So, how do I want to approach this? Just, maybe strips? I'm thinking strips. I should place another one of those out. Somewhat parallel. There. I'll keep all my construction bots busy. For a little bit. How much is that? Each one of these is 4.6k. And, okay, and those chests were holding like 5k, so that should deplete those chests. It's weird the patterns they use. Anyway. So, where were we? We had just said we're going to use all these filters. And we said that we can have 2 air filters to 1 liquefier to 1 assembling machine yellow, which is the 3, I think, but I just looked at it, saw it was yellow. And that it'll need lime though. We haven't dealt with the lime. So lime is from that produces carbon. It's lime, not limestone. We're gonna have a ton of carbon dioxide. I wonder if I should do something with that. Like, what can I do that would be worthwhile? We already have like a 1-to-1 on the sulfuric wastewater and carbon dioxide just from the filtering. And I don't want to. This wouldn't help. Well, what else can I do with green algae besides make fiber? I guess I can only make fiber. No. Well, do I want paste at all? No. We could turn in the methanol, and then turn the methanol into. And we have ammonia nearby. Do I want this at all? No, this is for rocket fuel. Ah, we're gonna have ammonia. We can make urea also. Should be fertilizer. Do I want to deliver CO2 in tanks? I mean, we're gonna produce a lot of CO2, but while doing this, it feels wasteful to just ignore it. Sure. Well, no, we were gonna only make 4 things. I guess we'll just ignore it. I mean, if nothing else, we could use it to create we could use it to create methanol and turn that into and like burn it. You don't burn methanol, do it? You burn methane, right? And methane is 1 up from methanol. Do I want formaldehyde somewhere? No, it's more resin stuff. I can turn methanol into propane. Yeah! Okay, no. That's what I'll do, and I can burn the propane. Maybe. Or make plastic. I hate to tie these things together. But it seems like we're going to be producing just a ton of this carbon dioxide because we need all this lime. We're kind of really well set up to make tree seeds. We'll have the fertilizer, we'll have the CO2, we'll have soil. But we don't need that much raw wood. No, I probably should be planning on having... I don't want to just flare away so much carbon dioxide. But what am I going to do with it? I guess we could turn it into wood. We're not really going to have fertilizer, not easily, to make it. But we can do that. I mean, we could always just make tree seeds and then burn the wood. I don't want to think about it. Let's deal with it some other time. It's weird how the first one they laid out really solidly, and then everything else they kind of make it more speckled, the way the bots work. Anyway, back to this, the lime. So 4 limestone creates 4 lime and 50 CO2. In 4 seconds, we're going to be using, I think, probably blast furnace 3s. I don't have the 4s yet. Yeah, blast furnace 3s. So that's speed 2. So a single one of these blast furnaces can produce 2 lime per second. We're going to need 0.625 lime per second per pair of filters. Just dividing that out. So a single blast furnace can support 3 pairs of furnaces in terms of air filters, in terms of producing filters for them. So 6 filters per blast furnace. Air filters. About the limestone. So it's 20 light mud. Becomes 3 limestone in 5 seconds. And it's going to be in a washing plant 2, which is speed 2.25. Let's just move that there so we can keep the same pattern. So 9 light mud produces 1.35 per washing plant, which is not enough. We need 2. So we need 2 of these. How much light mud can we produce? Probably a lot. I'm not worried about that. That's, well, I probably should look at this. So 200 concentrated can produce 200 light mud in 5 seconds, which again, it's gonna be like that. So one set of washing plants can support 10 of these things producing limestone. So 10 limestone producers per mud filters, or mud washers. I kind of like the idea that you can get alien spores just by filtering water. That's cool. I'm not quite sure what I need all this for. I mean, there's all this science, but it looks like it's all just like weaponry. So it seems like it's not something I particularly need. Although maybe later tier stuff like this. Does this need alien stuff at all? No, I don't think so. So maybe we'll just skip this whole section. Alright. Where were we? We were looking at the concentrated and saying we can produce a ton of limestone producers, and we need 2. We need 2 limestone producers per what? What do we say? Per blast furnace. And there's odds and ends, but I don't want. I'd rather have like 10 things that all do the same thing. Like I did for this whole thing. We have like 8 of these strips that all act independently, and we could be making some progress by having the the sulfuric acid be shared, or having the filtration units be shared across them. But it's easier to think about having just overproducing factory, and our UPS is still ridiculously good, so I'm not going to complain. How's this going? We still have 6.7k concrete in boxes, so we'll get to it in time. I should really make more logistic bots. We only have 24 still, and they're still like, they're logistic ones. Anyway. So that was the limestone. And we don't know what to do with the CO2 yet, but we'll figure that out at some point. We might, there's many things we could do with it. Anyway, the end result of this is there's going to be, for each pair, per pair of air filters 8 acid gas, and 8 wastewater. You know, we are gonna. No, we're not. We're not gonna actually filter the wastewater. We're gonna use it to grow blue algae. I was thinking we get mineralized from that. That would let us do stuff, but no, that's not gonna happen. So it's the acid gas in particular that I need to think about. We're gonna have to supply the catalysts manually. So 100 acid gas and 1 green catalyst is, well, let's do it that way. 1 catalyst and 100 acid gas. Like do it like they did. Is 1 empty catalyst, 60 hydrogen sulfide, 20 CO2, and that's not excess because that's going to go right back into this process, and 20 hydrofluoric acid, which is going to be our first product. We're going to just store a bunch of hydrofluoric acid in boxes, or in pipes, or in something, whatever. In trains, someday. So, that all happens in 4 seconds in an advanced chemical plant. I'm sure we can do the 2s. Let me just double check. Yeah. Does need titanium. Needs titanium pipe too, so that's gonna be expensive. But that's what we'll do. It's quite an improvement. It's 1.5 versus 2.5. Alright. We might not need them though, depending on, well, no, we can do it this way, because this is going to be a new line, pretty much. Deal with all this acid gas. Alright. So we can handle 62.5. One of these can. And we're producing 8. So that's... or other way around. So let's just say 8, well, 8 pairs of, well, no, we can't quite handle 8. We can handle 7.8. But that's fine. I think it's, well, we'll say 7 pairs. 7 pairs of air filters per, what is this? Advanced plant 2. And it will just be idle some of the time. Alright. So that's the hydrofluoric. There's nothing to do with this, right? It can be just thrown right into crystals. And what crystals are those? That's just Jivalite? Really? It's also for silicon processing. And tungsten. Okay. And Jivalite is for many things. Silver ore. Tungsten. It's actually not for that many things. We're not going to need that much of this. Like, stereotype we use for a ton of different kinds of crystals, or for tons of little bits of ore. And rubite. We use rubite everywhere. We're gonna need this for ferrous solution. Yeah, we're gonna have it. Oh, Jivalite crystals needs. Ah, that's for ferrous solution. Okay, we're gonna need a ton of that. Because I've been looking at ferrous solution, and I think that this is gonna be how we produce stuff. We're going to, all our iron is going to be going through this ferrous stuff. Because it's the only way to get chrome. It's the only source of chrome. And we need chrome for one of the sciences. Where is it? Yeah, we need chrome for advanced processing units. So we're going to need a ton of chrome. And it's only produced from that one recipe. So I think we're going to have to produce enough chrome to deal with this, and then all of our iron and steel and cobalt steel and all that will be byproducts of that process. We might need a second, like, additional iron if we, maybe, I don't know, but we'll deal with that in time. That's way down the line. But anyway, so we're going to need a bunch of hydrofluoric acid for the Jivalite. Doesn't seem like they're using this very much. Maybe they are. I mean, you see them all waiting around this, and not around this. Maybe I should put it over there. There's still 3.4k. I could lay out another thing, maybe. But let's get them to finish this bit up first. No, actually, most of our construction bots are idle now. Just a few still coming in. Let's lay out another bunch, another row. I needed to be one higher, didn't I? Feels like our science is going really slowly compared to what I thought it would be. But that's fine. We're gonna run out of things to research soon because of all the blue, and we're not progressing towards the next one. We're playing with acid. Anyway, hydrogen sulfide. We're gonna have to turn back into sulfur first. Oh, I forgot about that. I thought we could just turn straight into sulfuric acid. Okay. So 60 hydrogen sulfide. At least the numbers are the same. 60 is 60. But the speed's probably different. So no, it can be the same. We could match it up one by one. One for one if we use the right thing. Is it worth doing that? Like, I kinda don't like these chem plants. I always like preferring chem plant 2s. But that wouldn't be quite 2 per. I guess we could start using these chem plants. I mean, just they're slow. And what's their energy consumption? 210 compared to these, which are 220, but slightly faster. It's very comparable. I think I'd rather have the output. I'd rather have the downstream one able to handle more than the upstream can provide. So we'll probably go with chem plant 2s. Although we might just make it a whole I've been thinking of it like we would with the air filters. We're gonna have them like arranged in pairs with factors between them. We might just have a strip of things extracting sulfur. Anyway. So, hydrogen sulfide. 60 hydrogen sulfide and 40 O2. Makes 3 sulfur in 2 seconds. And we're saying it'll be in a chem plant 2, probably. Yeah, that is such a feeble difference. 2 to 2.25 to 2.75. Yeah, that's not very good. There's like an overabundance of chemical plants. There's these chemical plants and these ones. Anyway. Well, we'll say it's the 2.25 one. Yep, this would be there. So each one can deal with 67.5 per second. So it's really 1 for 1. Well, it's not quite 2 for 1. Nah, whatever. We'll work at that out in the end. We'll figure out how much O2 we'll need in a moment also, because we're going to use that to get the purified water problem. Is there really not a better way to go from... We have to add all that oxygen? I guess so. One sulfur and 60 O2 is 60 SO2. I guess I could just call this S, but I'm bad and not very good at science stuff. And this is going to happen in, again, a 2.25 thing. We've done this calculation just to produce sulfuric acid so many times before. Huh. That's purple science. Okay, and then 90 SO2 and 40 purified, which I think is the first time we've talked about purified this entire setup. It's not need purified, just here. That's kind of cool. We get the hydrofluoric acid without having to actually mix it with stuff. Anyway, we'll need it for the nitric acid, I'm sure. That produces 60 sulfuric acid in 2 seconds in the same sort of thing. So 101 sulfuric acid per second. And we said we wanted how much? We wanted 166, and let's just go with 200. We'll just go for double that amount. So this all works out to being... Let's make some more space. So we're going to want 200. Well, we're going to want that times 2. So we'll want that times 2. I'm sorry, I did this backwards. We want this times 3. Right? Yeah. So this is really, it's that divided by that times that. So we want 303 SO2. We'll just do this back up this way. So we want 303.75, which means we'll need 5 sulfur per second. And okay, this is while we're doing this, let's go ahead and calculate this. So this is that times 3. That would require 4.5 of these. That was right, yeah. To require 1.5 of these, which we can't actually do, so that's annoying. Maybe we should aim for a higher target. I don't know. I did that wrong. Or maybe I didn't. Yeah, I did it. I did it. No, that was fine. I just did it. I just didn't do it correctly. It's all about this number. So hydrogen sulfide needs to be that. So this would be that divided by that times that. And the overall is not that number. It's going to be that divided by that. 2.7. And in practice, 3. And we already kind of worked this out. It's going to need 7 pairs of air filters per advanced chem plant. And we're going to need 2.7. So we're going to need 19 pairs of air filters. We'll probably round it up to an even 20. So that's the plan. 20 pairs of air filters. And then all this to 3 chem plant 2s, 2 of these producing hydrogen sulfide, 5 of these, 3 of these. And that will give me as much sulfuric acid as I'm producing right now. All in a new place. Since we're going to need 20 pairs, we'll need 4 blast furnaces, and we'll need 8 limestone producers. So only 1 pair of mud washers. Only 1 mud washer, I mean. Okay, that's quite an order. Quite an order. We still have to deal with the oxygen and the purified water. But I think it's going to work out. I've got a plan. I have a vision for how this is going to work now. It's going to be so many air filters. So very many air filters. Anyway, next time, I think we'll go ahead and start implementing this plan. I might make some tweaks to it, but we'll take a look. So thank you everyone for watching. Until next time.